So hello everyone and welcome to the F It Show. If this is your first time ever coming in contact with me or even hearing my big old mouth, I am Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez. Yes, all of that. And you're probably like, I know I've heard this lady pray and different stuff and she's talking about F it. Yes, I hope you are having F it up Friday, not in a bad way, but you're out here faithing it, you're facing it, and you're being committed to what? Fulfilling your purpose, doing your God-given thing, that thing that he's called you to do. And so as you come on, say hey, hi, hello, say something. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know where you're tuning in from as well. And once you come on, you already know the drill. Go ahead and hit that share button because how long is it going to take you? Only about 2 seconds. So go ahead and hit that share button as you all come in and come on. And so look, tonight we have an amazing guest with us. Miss Chrissy Kyles is joining us, you all, for the F It series on tonight. But before we even bring her on, you all already know we have to get a few things out of the way. What do we have coming up, right? What do we have coming up? June 21st, we have our F It boot camp. I keep telling you, you cannot buy an F It attitude at Walmart, Neiman's Market, or anywhere. You got to develop this thing. And so if you're saying, look, Lika, I don't have that much clarity. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I have no clue where to start. I feel stuck, stagnant. So unless you like feeling like that, and overwhelmed and frustrated, and you so sick and tired of your own self not doing what you know that you're supposed to be doing, then guess what? This is an invitation. Calm down. No pressure. Just the invitation. Join the F It Boot Camp on June 21st. And let me tell you all, because I don't keep no secrets. I can't keep no secrets. Especially y'all, my people, right? Guess what? I was riding home this morning and God was like, you know what? And this is the second time I have done this in my entrepreneur journey. Pay what you can. Someone type that in the chat. Pay what you can. Y'all, you know I don't chase money. I don't chase clients. All I chase is Jesus. So therefore, when God speaks to me, I obey. And so for the F It Bootcamp, if you want to get in on that, look, it's a pay what you can. So regardless if you pay $1, $5, or whatever you can pay, you can rest assured I ain't coming to over deliver, but I am going to pour into you in that boot camp just because whatever that is for you. And so that's he said, and I'm going to tell you exactly like he told me how he said it to me driving home this morning. He was like, it's a pay what you can for the F It Bootcamp. This is your seed that you're sowing into them. He didn't say the value of what I'm sowing. He said, this is the seed that I'm sowing into you all. And so look, it's pay what you can. Like I said, this is the second time that he's done that. And I just said yes, right? And so good evening, ladies. We're getting ready to bring our guest on. But let me tell you all, because you know I asked them 5 things, right? How many 5? Only 5. I ain't finna read no bios and all of this stuff. And I know they have some amazing things that they're doing and have done. But Chrissy Kyles, you all, 5 things that you need to know about Chrissy. She's a higher educational professional with 4 years of experience in student affairs. Look, I remember dealing with student affairs sometimes at Norfolk State University. I was in that department a couple of times. And they don't get enough credit to me sometimes because they do so many amazing things. She currently works in career services full time by day and by evening and the weekend. She is the host of The Bliss with Chris. You all, that just sounds amazing. The Bliss with Chris. So look, she'll let you all know how you all can connect and download and all of these different things. She's a very sweet young lady that I just met like 5 minutes ago. Like, that's the beauty of the F It Show. And so she has been podcasting for 1 year and enjoys being able to use her platform to empower others in sharing their stories and educating listeners. So you already knew she was a good fit when I read her 5 things, because that's what we're about. Transparent, transformational conversations that's going to empower someone to take action, that's going to educate us, because like we read yesterday in the group, we are wise women. Proverbs 9, right? We're not simple women, right? We don't hang around simple women. We don't entertain simple women, and we're not simple women ourselves. We are wise, meaning we are empowered. We are bold, we are courageous, and we're always educating ourselves. She's taking classes for her master's in mental health counseling. Where are my mental health ladies at? I know we have some in the community. And so you all just love on her, hug her, encourage her, right? Encourage her in doing, she has a clothing line or t-shirt line. She'll let us know more information about that too, dealing with mental health. And we know mental health is real, right? But she has hopes. And you know what, y'all, she doesn't have hopes. We already know that Chrissy Kyles is going to be a licensed professional counselor. We don't have the hopes for it. It's already manifested. And so in her spare time, what does Chrissy like to do? She likes to try new food, okay? Restaurants, scroll through TikTok, and watch documentaries on Netflix and Hulu. So you are welcome to the show, Miss Chrissy Kyles with Bliss with Chris podcast. So welcome, Chrissy.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Amazing. We're excited to have you. And so look, this is amazing. Look, you all, yes, the ladies are saying, hey, right, y'all type in the chat, hey, Chrissy, hey, Chrissy, hey, Chrissy, show her some love. Hi, Kimberly. Let me shout out Tamala. I see you all. Thank you, Selena, for sharing. Ladies, if you haven't shared, you already know, 2 seconds of your time right now, go ahead and hit the share button, because I believe on every episode, every show, that something is going to be said is going to transform someone's life. We don't know what people have been praying for. We don't know what they're looking for, but something Chrissy or myself may say tonight may be what they want. Yes, you all pay what you can. I see it. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Hannah. So ladies, right, go ahead and hit the share button. Hey, they're like, hey, Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy. I love you, ladies. I love that. Look, this is the FS squad right here. We are facing it, and fulfilling it. And so, Chrissy, just introduce yourself just a little bit to the audience.
Yes, my name is Chrissy. I work in career services. I've been in higher ed 4.5 years now. And thank you so much for the shout out for student affairs, because most people are like, what is that? There's other jobs outside of being a professor in higher education. Yes. So we help. Yes, we help with anything outside of academics. We help students just navigate the process of not only getting through college, but specifically, I help students with getting jobs after they graduate. So, yeah, that's what I do full time by day. And I recently started a podcast last year called Bliss with Chris, where I talk about just college, careers, and life in your 20s. So I am excited to be on the show and to share a little bit about my story.
I love it. And you all, she's right. Like, there's so many different aspects of college. I remember being in college, and during that time, I was dealing with an eating disorder. I was anorexic, but I didn't know who to talk to, right? And so I just showed up to class, did my work, and I went on home. And so I wasn't that campus person, you all, getting involved in everything. Half of the stuff, I didn't know what was going on. I just wasn't that person. I was like, let me get in these books and go home. But I appreciate student affairs because they provide so many resources for students that typically, if you don't stop by the office and connect with someone, you wouldn't even know what was available to students. So thank you. And she says, look, you all, life in your 20s. Who else up here in their 20s? I don't think none of us in our 20s, right? We like double the age. Y'all know I don't have no shame. I'm 41. So life in 20s. Let me think back. My life in my 20s, I was dealing with an eating disorder. Then at 24, I got pregnant. So yeah, but I sometimes I think that my 20s, I feel, was snatched away to a certain degree. Yeah, but that's amazing to share your story, because sometimes people think at 20, oh, you haven't lived long enough. You haven't been through anything. And that is not the case. Look, the ladies Chrissy, they putting in their age. They like 36, 52. Y'all, is that our bra size or our waist size? Which one we talking about? I love it. And so, Chrissy, take us through, because so you getting your master's in mental health. So mental health must be dear to you. And so what is your why behind diving into mental health?
Yes, it's interesting because I think I see the intersection of my higher education experience and my own experience battling with depression when I was in college, especially undergrad. Um, because sometimes you might have had more help when you were in K-12 education. You either had school counselors or your parents or some sort of support to help you navigate mental health challenges. But once you're on your own in college, that's the first time you're learning to develop your own coping skills. So from just the short time I've been in higher education, I feel like just mental health between depression, anxiety, and suicide awareness, it's becoming more of a open conversation amongst higher educational professionals. And so I just saw just the intersection really between just my own personal interests. I'm a career counselor currently, but I feel like I can do more to help students. Not that I don't help students right now, but sometimes students are blocked from making career choices or just any other choice because they might be suffering from something that's mental health related. So that's why I decided to pivot. The plan is to stay in higher education, but work in a counseling center. But that's another reason why I'm passionate about talking about life in your 20s, because whether you go to college or not, your 20s are a very it's the first time you're on your own. And so there's a lot of firsts that you're going through. And it can be, even though most people say, oh, your 20s are fun, there's some rough spots in your 20s for sure.
Right. I love that. And I love that it's so niche down, right? Because a lot of times I used to say the same thing. You have all of these girls empowerment groups, right? And then you have women empowerment. There's nothing kind of in the middle where, right, you're off to school, whether you're still living at home or you're off to college by yourself. The world is so much bigger, even on the campus versus the walls of the high school. The walls, you have walls in high school, right? Mm-hmm. In college, it's like if you choose to go to class or not, that's on you. But you're dealing with those consequences, and then so many other things that are coming at us, even during that time. And you all, this is not just college, but this is just life. Selena put in here, she said at 20, about age of 20, she had a 4-year-old daughter, right? Everyone's experience is different, but we all go through something that either could stem from, and I love what you said, Chrissy, sometimes people are having blockages, right? I can tell you in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, sometimes there's still blockages of things that we didn't deal with when we were either got older and we didn't have an opportunity to really discuss them. Mm-hmm. And so depression, anxiety, I love that aspect of it, because sometimes even in school, people are like, well, now you're grown. No, just because I turned 21 or just because I'm in college, that, yes, number wise, but wisdom wise, no, I was some things we weren't prepared for. And then depending on our upbringing and different things, some things we just were oblivious to, like, oh, this is what people really do out
here? Yeah.
No, I didn't do that. I'm not going to do that. And then sometimes people find that they end up doing things in their life that they're like, okay, how did I, in retrospect, how did I end up here? Just from one seed or one thought or one anything, how did I end up here? And then who can I turn to talk to? Who's going to support me without judging me and looking at me like, oh, well, just brush it off. Oh, you shouldn't be feeling that way. And I find that a lot of people do that to 20-year-olds in that group, right? Well, now you're out of high school, get a taste of the real world. What is the real world?
Yes.
So share with us even one of those moments in your life that's something that you had to face. Dr. Sapp says, so true. You walk around with baggage that we didn't deal with. That's so profound. So profound. Gentle says, great information. I dealt with depression, anxiety, etc. So thank you for sharing. Right. And so Chrissy, take us through that journey some, even with the depression that you were dealing with.
Yeah, there are two really big instances that I remember. And the first was my freshman fall semester. So my first semester in college, I went to a smaller high school. And so that transition from going little bitty class to college is big, no matter if you go to junior college, community college, or whatever. It's just a whole different world. And so I struggled with that transition from everybody kind of knew each other in my class. Well, we did, because there were not that many. I graduated with 13 people. So everyone knew each other. And you don't probably even know the person sitting next to you's name in college. So that was a rough transition. And some of my classmates started college with me because we went to our local community college, and then slowly they dropped out. So it started to feel lonely. And so just dealing with that transition. And then, of course, sometimes people can get by just memorizing things in high school, but studying for tests in college, you sometimes can't just do that. You have to really deep dive and reflect on the information. So I struggled academically for the first time in my life once I was a freshman. And so I definitely, looking back now, I'm like, I was really depressed, but I didn't have the language to say that back then. And I also didn't just have the awareness, like, maybe I should have actually gotten professional help for that. So that was kind of my first real big time dealing with it. And then my second time was whenever I did my master's in higher education. I was in my last semester, so I was getting ready to be on the job search. So I started in February of 2018, just applying for jobs slowly because I was in my last semester. So I'd apply for like one job a week. And I graduated that May. And so I was like, I got to pick up the pace because I don't have a job yet. And so I struggled because, I was working as a graduate assistant, which is basically a part-time job on campus. And like, people would say, oh, you're an awesome worker. Like whatever university hires you is going to be lucky. So I was like, okay, I hear everyone saying this, but no one's hiring me. So I went through 3 rounds of interviews where I was like a top 3 candidate. And so I didn't get any of those jobs. And by that time, it was the end of June. So I was like, school starts in August. If I don't have a job lined up, I'm going to look outside of my field that I just spent time and energy studying. Right. But it was July, like literally July 26th or 27th when I was offered a job, my first full-time job in higher education. So I was like, I barely got in, but it was really a blessing. But I struggled with, I think more so identity crisis because I kind of put my worth in my job title or just simply having a job when it's like, no, your career is only one part of you and you're so much more than your career or your job title. So I had to learn the hard way, but I felt really blessed that school gave me a chance pretty much because I'm like, I don't know if I'd be in higher ed if because I was ready to give up at that point. So those are really the 2 big times of, I feel like, depression in my own life really resonated.
And I can definitely see, and anyone else, if you all can relate definitely to that, and it may not be that particular situation, but I can see how, because a lot of times people do put more emphasis on their worth into what they have accomplished or what they have done in all of these things, and not realizing that if we didn't even have any of that, we're still worthy. If we didn't have the dream job, right? And the thing is, God will grant us with work and faith, you all, let me say that again, with work and faith. We got to put in some work. He will grant us the desires of our heart. But sometimes I think even in those times, it's definitely a learning experience to reveal and to show us who we really are. And then to show us that, you know what, let me take you on this back road to show you that don't put faith into that piece of paper, right? Even though those things are amazing, you all, I have degrees and stuff too, so we're not knocking anyone. And even if you don't, you're still worthy without a degree. You're still worthy if you're just, you know what, you decide I'm going to say yes to me, right? And some of us are still waiting on permission. Let me tell you, like, court is in order. You have permission to go out there and be who God has called you to be. If someone was waiting on permission tonight, I want to encourage you to say you have permission to go out there. If that's go back to school, then do it. If that's go get a degree, then go do it. If it's just walking in your purpose and serving and supporting people, then do it. Why? Because time is not on our side, right? And so those things, even at 20 and beyond, because like I said, you hear so many people telling 20-year-olds and telling the younger generation, y'all haven't lived enough. Wait till you live longer. You're going to go through more things. But some things, you all, we don't have to go through. I just believe that there are some things we don't have to go through if we wisen up, right? The Bible didn't say, it didn't give an age for wisdom. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I was reading Proverbs 9 and 10 on yesterday. It didn't give an age on wisdom, because I know some women older than me and they are not wise. And I said it. They are not wise. They act very foolish. They're very foolish women according to the Bible. Y'all saw I threw that in there. According to the Bible, but so age doesn't make people wise. Mm-hmm. And so even for other generations, we have to look back at the 20-year-olds and say, you know what, keep doing what you're doing or wisen up in this area. And then I say, hey, 20-year-olds, y'all got to listen too. Like my daughter is 19. And so everyone doesn't go through an identity crisis. Some people do, some people don't. Everyone's story and journey is different. So you all, it's important for us not to be muted and share our story, because there are other young ladies in college and young men who may be dealing with depression. It could be from financial aid. It could be from a financial standpoint. So many other things where they're trying. And ladies, those of us beyond our 20s, right? Think about on your place of employment and different things now. You know that you're qualified for a position and they just keep looking over you, right? You're like, I know. And the person that they gave it to don't even know the job, right? And so, but keep the right attitude. Even in the midst of that, keeping the right attitude. Chrissy, I can definitely relate. I remember getting my first F in college. I had never had an F in my life. I was just like, matter of fact, it was a D- in a calculus 2 class or something. And I was just like, you might as well gave me an F, because now I have to take the class over. Like, I
right.
so insulted. And I was just like, I would have rather just took an F. Like, the D-, you might as well just gave me the F, and I would have been like, okay. And I cried like it was the end of the world. Do y'all understand me? I cried like it was the end of the world. Now, yes, I retook the class and I got an A- out the class, but yet it's still, I cried, and that could have sent me into a depression. I can say that I did feel a little anxiety when I had to repeat the class, because I was just like, oh my God, I cannot fail this class again. I will not fail this class again. But I did have a little bit of anxiety as well. And so you all, we go through these trends. You said something, transition. Y'all, we're forever in transition. Regardless of what your age is, we're forever in transition. And so like Chrissy's in transition now. She's getting her master's. That's another transition where you're standing in that same field, but coming at it from a different angle. Because mental health awareness, I remember in college, that wasn't talked about. They would give you like, well, if you're having issues, you can go talk to this person. It's like, I don't think I want to go talk to my dean, but
right.
And can I really get him or her?
Exactly. Like, let's be real. Deans their schedules are packed.
Right. So am I really right, Selena? We're always in transition, no matter what our age and different things are. We're in transition. We want more money. We want a better health. We want a better life. We want, and not realizing sometimes everything that we need is right around us. Abundance is around us and in us. And so we have to tap into that. And so I love the aspect that you're taking with this, because it is a need. and not even beyond higher education, right? It's a need beyond higher education because we see so often 20-year-olds and beyond who are dealing with depression, who are dealing with anxiety, dealing with, okay, am I really qualified to get this job? Well, I know I'm qualified, but they still don't want to hire me. Well, why y'all didn't hire me? So many other things. And so that is necessary.
Yeah. This just reminded me of a student I saw yesterday. She graduated in December of 2020, so 6 months ago. And we know just it's hard enough, I feel like, graduating and getting your first job. But then COVID, of course, is another added hardship. And so she has not found a job yet. And it's been about 6 months since she started searching. And part of it, I told her, you're getting interviews, so that's good. But part of it is getting people to kind of take a chance on you because they might see, oh, they just graduated 6 months ago. They're young. And so I told her, it's just, I don't like that about people looking for employees, right. But it's just a fact of life. Like
it is. But Chrissy, on the flip side, it's the same thing with older women. Oh, she's older. Oh, maybe she ain't gonna live that much longer. I mean, it's so many different thoughts that people could have. And so it's like on either end of the spectrum, where do we come to a median to say we're gonna give a chance on the young person and we're gonna give a chance on the older person? I love what Dr. Sapp just said. She said she had to transition into retirement after working many years as an educator. So we're always in transition. The person retiring is in transition because now the life that you knew for X amount of years of getting up and going to this place and doing so many things, now you don't have that responsibility. But now we're dealing with the new grad who's eager and like, hey, you know what? I just finished college. Okay, congratulations. You had a graduation party and all of these things, but now it's daunting. Am I going to get hired? I need to make a living. Okay, am I going to have to start all the way from the bottom? Or am I going to have to just go work somewhere until someone hires me?
Right.
And no one really wants to do that.
Nope.
No one wants to do that, to say, I just went to school for 4 years. All of this money spent to not be working in my career field that I want to work in. That's a transition, and that can definitely lead to depression and anxiety and stress and all of these things, in which now we understand all of those things lead to other things. And it's just like, but I love what you said. Don't give up. And you all, giving up has been an option for a lot of us. Like, raise your hand, right? It has been an option. It has been an option. I thought about giving up before and different things like, okay, Jesus, you better show me a sign. Is this what I'm supposed to really be doing? I need a sign. Show me something. I don't know, in the sky, through somebody. Give me a word. Just reassure me that this is the path that I'm supposed to be taking. And so Marvelette says, awesome information. Even for me at the age of 58, I'm dealing with depression and was scared to talk about it. I told you all, go ahead and share this video out, because something that's said is going to transform, not even going to, it's transforming someone's life. Why? Because we have transparent, transformational conversation. And so Marvelette, 1, we're definitely praying for you. 2, you all get whatever help that you need. Right? And don't be afraid to open up and talk about it. That's the beauty of it. Don't be afraid to unmute yourself and say, this is what I'm dealing with. Because I do believe the longer that you stay silent, the worse it gets. The louder everything else gets around you, instead of just saying, you know what? I'm dealing with depression right now. Right now. So, Chrissy, any tips for Marvelette?
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing, number one. And I think, I don't know if this helps, but this is what popped into my head. I think for me, I think I read more into the Bible with more emotion now. Like, there's one passage of scripture when Jesus was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, and one version, it reads that Jesus was anxious. And I was like, whoa, either it's the version I read or I'm more open to other things now. And so I was like, the fact that it said Jesus felt anxious, I was like, he feels anxiety just like we do as humans. And so that really just opened my eyes, because I'm like, well, if Jesus even felt this way, then it's okay to feel this way, instead of just feeling like ashamed that you're having that feeling. Mm-hmm. So I'd say, number one, recognize when you're in those, recognize your emotions, but don't just sit there and stay with that. I think you have to take the first step and recognize them, but then it's not always having to go see a counselor, but if you can just talk with a trusted, whether it's a friend, a pastor, someone that you can really trust, and they have that privilege of being able to talk with you about really the vulnerable parts of your life, then just talk about it. I think sometimes just talking about it helps relieve, like, I know whenever I share, if I'm having a bad day and I share that with someone, it feels like my shoulders immediately like drop after it's like, actually said.
Like, I finally just got that off my chest. I let it out. And Chrissy, I totally agree with you on that. Recognize what and that's why I ask people, how are you doing today? And then sometimes I go a step further. How are you doing right now? Mm-hmm. Right, ladies, how are you all doing right now? Put it in the chat. How are you doing right now? Because throughout the day, things happen. Throughout the day, we sometimes, and that's where we have to get a little more control of our emotions and things. We have to get more control over our mindset, right? Because we can let a negative thought stay and ponder. And then it takes us on a down spiral, instead of saying, you know what, I thought it, but I'm not going to let that ponder. And so even if we're feeling a certain way right now, we don't have to go into the night before we go to bed still feeling that same way. So, Chrissy, I totally agree. Right. But let's not sit in it. Let's be more open and communicated with, like she said, a trusted, meaning wise, right? A trusted and wise person, because what we don't want is people. I never want people in my corner that's going to pacify my feelings. Right. I don't have time for that. I need people that's going to say, look, I let you cry. Okay. I let you be angry, but now you can't stay in this place. I'm not going to allow you to stay right here, but you've cried, you let it out. Okay, now what's the next steps? How are we going to move? Marvelous says she's blessed. Selena says she's grieving. Her best friend for years died on Wednesday night, just this week. And so, Selena, we're definitely praying for you and the family. But you all, we have to take more time asking people, how are you doing right now? How are you doing today? And pay attention. Because it's easy for us to say, oh, I'm doing fine. Oh, I'm doing fine. Oh, I'm doing fine. And really inside, we're not doing fine. Inside, we're screaming. Inside, we're broken. Inside, we're crying. And we really want someone to really stop. That's why complete strangers will walk up to you and wherever you're sitting, they'll tell you everything. And you're like, did they just tell me they just got out of jail? Like, wow. Yeah. But they felt free enough to say, I just got to get it off of me. I just got to release it. Right. So some of us up here, even on tonight, or even then you'll catch this in the replay now, next year, 10 years from now, because the video's not going anywhere. Right. And they'll be thinking, I just got to release some things. Well, you all, what I say all the time. Now is your time. Today is your day. Release some of those past hurts, release some of those identity issues, release some of those things that you feel are holding you back from going to that next place in your life. Because I am here to tell you, it will paralyze you. It will paralyze you. And so because we are wise women, we're women of wisdom, we're bold and courageous women. Now is your time to just say, I'm letting go of some stuff. Right? Those things that don't serve me any purpose, including things that I'm holding on to myself, because we block our own selves, right? Chrissy, if you would have decided that, okay, look, no one wants to hire me. I'm just going to give up. I'm not going to keep pursuing what I know that I've been called to do. Then you're going to be like, we're our own biggest blockers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Because we had to make a decision. You had to make a decision to say, okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep fighting. Someone's going to hire me. Okay.
Right.
So even to someone else out there where you might be saying, look, I know I'm in transition. I want to be a full-time entrepreneur. I want to walk in my purpose, or whatever it is that you're out there to do or you want to do. You got permission. and you have support. You have support. And so, Chrissy, anything else you want to share with us?
Man, I'll say we kind of talked about this before we went live, but I think sometimes people feel like it's one big thing to get you to that next big opportunity, but it's in the little things you do every day. So, I mean, I think even with my work with students, I try to tell them, keep your resume updated, because it's easier to apply for a job that you really want and already have your resume pretty much ready to go, versus I haven't updated my resume in 2 years. So now I got to remember what I did and also put it in a way that's going to read well on paper and then apply. Cause y'all know applying for jobs is a job. So if you can just already kind of be ready, so whenever the opportunities come, it's not as much like stress and trying to get things together at the last minute. So I'd say really the big opportunities come with the little things you do every day, and like, don't take for granted that one small step you take today and tomorrow are really big steps when you look over time. So don't just think it's, just a little thing. No, like over time they add up.
Yes, I love that, you all. So that's why, ladies, we have to celebrate I don't even call them small wins. A win is a win to me, regardless of if you decided that, you know what, I don't really drink water, but today I'm drinking like 3 bottles, or I didn't at least took the initiative. That's a win. No win is too small. No, anything that you do is steps, right? One foot in front of the other, and you're just taking those steps. Number one, because we are women who pray, we are taking steps leading by and guided by the Holy Spirit. So when we say that our steps are ordered, we really should allow him order our steps, and we just follow the leader, right? How many of you all played that game growing up? Follow the leader, and you just followed them wherever they went. It's the same thing with Holy Spirit. He's there. He's here to guide us, lead us, comfort us, all of those things. So everything that we need. I hear you, Helen. Helen said, I am going to let go of some stuff. Y'all, whatever your stuff is, right? You know what your stuff is. Chrissy, you said something very powerful. Don't prepare for the opportunity when the opportunity is presented to you. You're already behind the curve, and that may end up being a missed opportunity. The ladies hear me say all the time, prepare and be in position. Be prepared and be in position that you already see yourself at this company. You already see yourself successful. You already see yourself in the position. And so how are you preparing for those things? If you say, hey, I want to be a speaker, how are you preparing to become a speaker? A paid speaker at that, a highly sought out speaker at that, right? You know what you're saying? Some of you all may be saying, I want to have a podcast. Okay, well, let me tell you all, it don't take a whole lot to get one started, right? It does not take a lot to get one started. So you don't have to take a whole year. We take this time doing those things because of fear. We take those times doing things because of self-doubt. We take that time of wasting more time because of rejection, the fear of rejection. Are people going to receive me? Is it going to be good? Just get started? And how do you get started? Release some things. We got to make room, right? How many of us have did some spring cleaning, and you cleaned out your closet and all of these different things? You all make room for the blessings coming into your life. But you have to be, that's what Chrissy, that struck a nerve with me, because I'm always saying, be prepared and be in position, because those are missed opportunities if you're not prepared, and you may not get that opportunity again. Mm-hmm. So if you really want it, be in position. Start preparing yourself now, right? For those ladies out there saying, look, I desire to be married, prepare yourself now. And how are you preparing yourself? You're getting rid of some of your baggage. You're dealing with your own hurt. Ain't no need to get married and bring your hurt into it. If you've been single all this time, deal with your junk.
Ooh, that's a whole nother conversation.
Deal with your stuff, so that when you're making room, you're preparing yourself to be the bride that God has called you to be. You're preparing yourself to be that wife, right? So deal with why wait all these years and take that same hurt when you could have just healed? You could have dealt with what you needed to do. You could heal. And then certain aspects of your life, you're going into this relationship and different things free, right? You're going in there free, like, oh no, I don't deal with that anymore. I'm free from those things. So be prepared for the blessings, right? So that now you're not surprised of the things. Why be surprised at the things that you've been praying for? I'm not surprised at the things that are manifested in my life because I prayed for these things. Not only did I pray for them, I worked diligently towards them too. I have to keep saying that because, a lot of church people think bippity boppity boop, and that's not how it works, y'all. You got to put in some work. Dr. Sapp says, I am in the process now of letting something go. Yes, ladies, release. Right? Release some things that are holding you back in your life. Kay Brown, what is going on? She said, yes, make room for the blessings to reign in your life. You want more abundance? Believe me, abundance is all around you. But you have to confess that, right? So affirmations, your journaling, all of these amazing tools and strategies that you use. I told someone the other day, Holy Spirit gives us strategy, y'all. You just got to be ready to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And take action, right? Some of us don't like to take action. We want to contemplate every single thing. I'm all for praying and counting up the cost, but some of us not even praying about it no more. You're not counting up the cost. You are just procrastinating. Yes, I said it. You are just procrastinating. And one of those things, you don't see the value in yourself to think that you're worthy enough to have those things. You're worthy of every blessing that has your name on it. You can't take my blessings. I ain't worried about you taking my blessings. I can't take Chrissy blessings, right? I can't take Wendy and Helen and Sheila and Kimberly. I can't have your blessings, but you can't have them either if you keep being scared. You won't obtain them either if you don't take some steps. Like Chrissy said, take those steps. Right? If you got to crawl a little bit, crawl until you are able to walk. And then once you're able to walk and you get that momentum, now you can just run in your purpose like never before. That's what effort is all about, you all. And Chrissy is an effort lady, meaning she is faith in it, right? She's elevating her faith. She's in a new program, a master's program. That's an elevation of faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
To become a licensed counselor and things. So, right, that's taking her faith to a whole nother level. She's taking her faith to another level. And then she's facing the challenges that come with that, right? None of us are exempt from challenges. At 20, 40, 60, 80, none of us are exempt. They just might look a little different, but sometimes they don't. Because depression doesn't look different from a 20-year-old versus a 50-year-old. It's the same. So look, you all, we are all in this together. We're on this journey together. We learn from the 20-year-olds, right? Because they packing a lot of wisdom, you all. They're not simple women either. They're packing a lot of wisdom, not just from their degrees, but their own life experiences. And Chrissy, I commend you. Chrissy, how old are you?
I turn 29 next month.
Woo, woo. Oh, y'all, Chrissy almost out she almost at the big 30. But
yes,
that's amazing for what you're doing and being a godly woman, because you don't find that as often, but you are there 20-year-olds serving God with all their heart, right? No one's out here perfect, but making progress. So there are 20-something-year-olds who are committed to Jesus Christ. They're speaking the word, they're saying doing what he's telling them to do and going forth. And so look, we can learn a lot from the 20-somethings, right? And vice versa, because like I said, we're in this journey together. Wendy says, yes, it's a daily process. I had to release daily, right? Y'all, Holy Spirit will press you and you'll pull some things out of us. Like Chrissy said, when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus felt everything that we felt. Everything. He bore our sins. He bore from sickness and disease. But can we imagine having every sickness and every disease, y'all? No. But he did all of that just for us.
Mm-hmm.
And when we understand who we are in him, that's the game changer right there. Chrissy, you said something earlier about maybe I should have went to counseling back then.
I do now. And I think number one is good. I think even though I'm not out in the field of counseling yet, I think it's good.
You in it, Chrissy. You in it.
I think it's good for us as therapists to practice what we preach and go to counseling ourselves. Because once I am out in the field, I'm going to be hearing so many different stories from my clients. And for me not to take that on and take it home with me, I know it'll be good for me to go through my own counseling myself. But I think that's what happens with a lot of college students is that they either don't even use the resources at their college, right? Or maybe they're just nervous about taking that first step in signing up to see a counselor. And so that's why I specifically want to work in counseling within a university setting, because there's such a need for counselors for college aged students and everybody, but definitely in college.
No, I mean, it is accessible and needed for everyone, but you're niche down. That's your niche right there. And so I love that you already know who you serve, how you're going to serve them. And that's half of the battle when you're going even into business. A lot of people think, oh, let me get a website, let me get my logo, let me get these. Who you talking to? who purchasing your services and your products? Who are purchasing these things? And so you mentioned earlier about your clothing line, t-shirt line. Let us in some insight with that.
Yes. During the pandemic, I love to be creative. And I'm not necessarily able to be as creative as I'd like to in my daytime job. So like when creativity hits, I'm like, let me do some graphic design real quick. And so I came up with about 3 or 4 different designs. And I'm like, I wonder how this would look on a t-shirt. And so I was just like, oh, I'm actually just going to start up apparel, mental health apparel. And it's on my website, blisswithchris.com, right there on the screen. And so it was really kind of what just take the first step and see what happens.
Look, because you'll never know. You'll never know. And I do believe when those divine downloads come to us, we just have to take action, right? We just take action, and we don't even worry about the what ifs or what if it just be a success? How about that? Right. And so you all visit blisswithchris.com, and Chrissy, let us know also, let our listeners know how they can, your podcast, what platforms your podcast and different things on, so they can download. And, look, y'all, we know, you all know we're about support, and we don't just talk about stuff. So blisswithchris.com, go visit, get you a shirt, whatever you need to do to support, because we don't just talk it, we live it. And so what platform, your podcast and all of those things?
Yeah, I am on Spotify, Apple, just got approved to be on iHeartRadio. So that's exciting. And I am also on Amazon, has a podcast platform, but it's just Bliss with Chris, and Chris with 2 S's. And it's funny, I'm going to shameless plug, because you mentioned this earlier about starting a podcast. I literally just finished a course. I created a course on how to launch your podcast as well. So
and it's crazy. I was going to ask you, like, okay, so I know you got a course or something since you've been podcasting, but I was like, I'm going to ask her anyway. And if she don't, then she'll go out there and create one.
As of like 5 days ago, I do. Yes.
Drop some congratulations in the comments. So ladies, look, she's been podcasting for a year or so. Bliss with Chris, go check that out. But then if you're saying to yourself, hey, I want to start a podcast, this is a resource right here. Chrissy Kyle, she can help you definitely get that set up. I believe she's a woman of integrity. I believe just from her conversation, she's a woman who is open and transparent. And so I'm vouching for her, right? And you all might be, well, Carla, didn't you just meet her? It doesn't matter. You all know I connect with people in the spirit. I don't connect with people what I see externally. And I would not vouch for someone on a live broadcasting if I didn't believe in what they were doing. You all should know that as well. No hidden agenda. I just said what I'm going to say. And so, yes, congratulations. The ladies are like, congratulations. Yes, you all. But what did Chrissy say? She took the first step. God gave her an idea and she took action, right? So some of us are not taking action. This is why we need some of the 20-year-olds around us, because they like to take action. They're going to keep us accountable, keep us on our toes. Like, okay, you said you was doing what? Okay, let me see how we can help you get it done. That's that initiative and drive that a lot of them have. Like, okay, I'm not wasting time. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's do it. And so that's what we need in our life, right? Someone that's going to say, look, let's get it. Let's go. Let's do it. And look, Chrissy Kyles, you guys, Bliss with Chris podcast, and she has a new course that she just launched. And look, you all make sure you connect with her. Let me put her website up again, Bliss with Chris with 2 S's.com. So make sure you visit the website for her apparel. Make sure you visit the website for any information just to learn more about her. Connect with her across social media. Chrissy, what's your the best social media handle that they can get connected with you?
Definitely Instagram, and it's at Bliss with Chris, just like on the website.
Y'all, Brandon 101, keep it simple. Keep it simple, right? Keep it consistent and keep it simple. That's a business tip of the day. Keep it simple so that people can remember and repeat. Let me say that again. Keep it simple so people can remember and repeat. We're not going to forget Bliss with Chris, right? It has a ring all by itself, but you're not going to forget 2 S's. Oh, right, 2 S's. Right. And so definitely connect with her and let's follow her journey of all the amazing things that God's doing in her life. Because when she graduates, y'all, we want to be there to say, look, virtual aunties and grandmas and everyone, right? We're cheering you on to say we're proud of you and congratulations. So you all make sure you connect with her. If you're looking to start your podcast, or you may say, hey, I have one started, but I wanted to grow and different things. Chrissy can definitely give you tips and things with that. Be ready to invest in yourself. Why? Because you're worth every investment that you make into you. And so, ladies, this has been amazing. Kimberly says, I just subscribed. This is going to help so many youth. Thank you for this valuable resource. Amazing, amazing, amazing. That is what it's all about. Chrissy, when I say we don't just talk about things, we live it and we walk it out. And so, ladies, you know that we want to invite you, just the invitation to our Women Who Pray community, where we're praying for you, we're pushing you, and we're praising you. No, we ain't making you no little God or nothing, but we're just congratulating you and cheering you on to say we're on this journey together. Unless you want to be by yourself. But I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be so much harder if you want to be on the journey by yourself. You need support. I didn't say you want support. You need support, right? You need support. And so don't be afraid to open your mouth and ask the questions. And the Bible says you have not because you ask not. So if you need support, you got to open up your mouth, right? You need to talk to someone. You need to open up your mouth and do just that. I'm going to put Chrissy's website up again, blisswithchris.com. Make sure you all connect with her podcast, Bliss with Chris, and across social media platforms, especially on Instagram, Bliss with Chris. Go check her out, read more. Just stalk her a little bit, y'all. Not in a creepy way now, but she better not inbox me and be like, well, I had a couple of creepy people, because y'all know I'm gonna say something to y'all. Don't scare y'all. Don't scare. But definitely connect and let's follow the journey, because I know we have some ladies as well who are already neurotherapists and different things in our community. And so I would definitely love for you to connect with them and have conversations. Dr. J, golly, her name is escaping me right now. I got to look it up. Dr. Joe Harris and different ones who are in the therapy sector, counseling sector. I think they would definitely provide a lot of value to you, and they'll love to have a conversation with you. Trust me, they would love it, love it, love it. And so Kimberly says, I'm a youth service counselor, and what a blessing of support. God bless you. Thank you, Kimberly. And so, Kimberly, that is Chris with 2 S's, honey. Okay. 2 S's. They know I love them, ladies. I love you all. If you have not shared this video out, go ahead and hit that share button, because this was a powerful conversation. So many tools, tips, and resources right here. If you all enjoyed this, go ahead and put a number 1 in the comments. Go ahead and put a number 1 if you enjoyed this. If you shared it, put shared in the comments. You all know we love accountability. It's about accountability, and some other 20-year-old and beyond will see this video and they're going to be like, wow, okay, but she didn't give up, and she's walking and she's taking one step at a time and taking action. I see you, Selena, taking action. So whatever you all take tonight, take action, right? Release some things, open up your mouth and have conversations and talk about how you're feeling, but take action in releasing and receiving. Kimberly said, I'm sorry. Kimberly, it's okay. She didn't say nothing. Like, she was like, look, thank you, ladies. Thank you. So, Chrissy, any last words of wisdom or tips or anything you want to share before we end this amazing conversation?
Yeah. I also thought of this as you were talking, and I remember when Jesus even was kind of doubtful when he was like, God, he kind of low key was like, do I really need to die on the cross for these
Okay.
sins? I know that's what I was supposed to be to fulfill the word, but even he had some like moments like, I really don't want to do this,
but if it's your will.
Yes. So that's comforting too, to know that as humans, if Jesus even had those moments of doubt and like, I really don't want to do this, but I know I need to. It's a normal human emotion as well, but don't just leave it at that. Go ahead and do whatever God has called you to do. Don't doubt yourself. Well, you can doubt yourself, but don't stay in that doubt. Because even Jesus had that questionable moment in his own experience.
Yeah, just do it anyway. With a little bit of doubt, do it anyway. A little bit of fear, do it anyway. Because once he did pay the ultimate price for all of us, this is why we're able to go to the Father. This is why we're able to have, that's why we have a right, and we are an heir. We have a right to freedom. We have a right to live our life in abundance, right? We've been called to be free, right? That's in the word. And so look, do like Jesus did. He might have said, okay, Lord, God, you really want this? What you really want? Okay, if it's your will. And it is his will for you to be successful. It's his will for us to be healed. It's his will for us to live an abundant life. It is his will, and we have a right. So that's your permission. You have a right to do what God has called you to do. And so, look, you all, this has been amazing, amazing. Ladies, look, June 21st is the F-It Boot Camp. So make sure it's a pay what you can. Let me tell you, like I said, this is the second time that we've done that. So you want to get in now and do that, because I don't know when God will say do it again, but get in now on the pay what you can. You're going to get the same value, whether you do $1 or $100. You're going to get the same value. I'm not switching up the content. Oh, this group only paid this. No. I'm only being obedient, and you all know that I wholeheartedly believe in being obedient to whatever God is telling us to do. And so, and I wouldn't have told you that he told me to do it if he didn't tell me, because I don't have time to be getting chastised and beat up on for not obeying and listening. So June 21st, go ahead and if you do it through PayPal, just put F-It Bootcamp in the comment area so I'll know what it is for. Other than that, make sure you all visit blisswithchris.com for apparel and her new course on launching your podcast. That is amazing. And there is a need, because I know some of you all have talked about launching a podcast, right? And so now you have a resource to do just that. Well, with that said, ladies, go ahead and drop those F-Its in the comments. You already know how we do it. We are right at our time with a minute or so to spare, because I respect Chrissy time and my time. I don't know what you all are doing on this Friday evening. I don't have to go to bed, so y'all don't have to send me to bed tonight, because I don't have to go to work, but I am going to be doing some work. I see it, Selena. F-It. Ladies, drop those F-Its in the comments. Why? Because that's what we're doing. We are effing it up in the streets, but we are faith in it. We are facing our challenges, and we are being committed to fulfilling our God-given purpose. I see you, Wendy. How are you doing? Wendy, let me know how you're doing as well. So, ladies, with that being said, remember, when you change your perspective, you will change your life. Let me say that one more time. When you, not your mama or your daddy or your friend or your husband or anyone, when you change your perspective, you will change your life. Go out there and F it up. Release and be willing to receive, right? Release those things that's not serving you, but be willing to receive all of the bountiful blessings that God has in store for you. Go out there and manifest the life that you want, right? Go out there and be the manifestors and manifest the life that you want. I will talk to you all later. Chrissy, I want to say thank you to you joining us on the F-It Show. We appreciate your openness and your transparency, and we pray over you that everything that you touch shall prosper in every area. Keep impacting lives in higher education and beyond. Those 20-something-year-olds, keep inspiring them to open up even more about their feelings and emotions and changing lives one person at a time. Selena says, thank you, Chrissy.
Thank you, guys.
Chrissy, I think that we done all adopted you now. Like, we your aunties and stuff. Chrissy got all, where the aunties at? You got all the internet aunties.
For sure. Like, I actually, the closer I get to 30, I'm like, I'm soaking up everything I can from women that are older than me. Cause like people have told me like, oh, your 30s, you thought your 20s was fun, but your 30s and then your 40s. Ooh. So I'm like, oh, y'all making it sound good to age and not be afraid of it.
And when I say I have embraced 41 like never before, my 30s were amazing. And I'm only like, I'm still new in the 40s, but amazing. Like, and you just great in God, you grace, you age gracefully and you just get wiser and you don't deal with any junk and all of these amazing things. And so I love it, love it, love it. But we ain't gonna ditch you to the side because you turned 30 now. We're gonna celebrate with you. We ain't gonna be like, oh, she real grown now. No, we're not gonna do you like that, Chrissy. Kimberly says, thank you and looking forward to hearing more from you. Well, ladies, we are out of here. You all enjoy your weekend. Be blessed. I think I'll see you all back here either Monday or Tuesday. I gotta check the calendar. You know how I am. If it ain't on the calendar, it don't exist. Okay? That's real talk. So with that being said, Chrissy, thank you again, you all. Ladies who've tuned in, we appreciate you all. Those who shared the video, this broadcast, if you haven't, go ahead and share it out. Share it with your community as well. But if you already did, we appreciate you. Share it again, right? Share it again in communities that you're allowed, right? Stay mindful of whatever rules and groups and stuff that you're in, because that's what we do. Stay tuned, ladies. Women Who Pray is launching July the 28th. And so I hope you all are excited. The ladies are doing their pre-sales, you all. So if you want to get in on that, go ahead and support and go ahead and order your book. It's 90 Women, 90 Prayers. And this is a whole prayer movement. Okay. Do you all understand? We've had headline news and press release and all these different things, but it's no glory in me. It's all God. It's his will and it is marvelous in his sight. So yes, Helen, you have a blessed weekend too. With that said, ladies, peace out. And we love you all. We'll talk to you later.